Ever feel like your goals are just out of reach, not because you lack the desire, but because that initial burst of motivation fizzles out before you even get started? Like you're caught in a cycle of starting strong, but finishing weak? If so, you're not alone. But here's something that might just shift your entire perspective. Discipline, not motivation, is what truly drives lasting success. Think about it. Motivation is like a wave. It surges and crashes, leaving you high one moment and low the next. But discipline is the solid ground beneath your feet, the unshakable foundation that supports you day in and day out. It's the practice of showing up consistently, of taking action even when you'd rather not, and of pushing through when the excitement has faded. The ancient Stoics knew this well. They understood that while motivation can be fleeting, discipline is the true path to mastery, fulfillment, and greatness. In this series, we're diving deep into the world of discipline. We'll explore why discipline is far superior to motivation and how it can transform your life. Drawing from the wisdom of philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, who lived and breathed the principles of disciplined action, we'll uncover the secrets to building a life anchored in discipline. We'll also tap into the insights of modern thinkers who recognize that discipline is the bedrock of achieving our deepest desires. But we're not stopping at theory. This series is packed with practical, actionable strategies that you can apply immediately to start cultivating discipline in your own life. We'll share personal stories, relatable examples, and effective techniques to help you build the habits that lead to real, sustainable success. Whether you're a student striving for academic excellence, an entrepreneur working to turn your vision into reality, or simply someone seeking more order and purpose in your day-to-day life, this journey is for you. So, if you're ready to step off the roller coaster of motivation and onto the steady path of discipline, you're in the right place. And remember, this isn't just about you. It's about something bigger. A community of individuals dedicated to mastering themselves and their lives through the power of discipline. Together, we are reviving the spirit of the Stoics, building a modern legacy of resilience, strength, and unwavering commitment to our goals. Join us on this journey. Embrace the power of discipline, and let's rise together as a community that not only dreams, but also does every single day. Chapter 1. Unmasking Discipline, the steady force behind success. Let's begin by unmasking the true nature of discipline. We often hear about motivation, the exhilarating spark that gets us going, the emotional high that makes us feel invincible. But what happens when that spark fades? What do you rely on when the initial excitement wanes and you're left with the long, often tedious path ahead? That's where discipline steps in. Discipline is not about relying on how you feel in the moment. It's about committing to actions regardless of those feelings. It's the backbone that supports your goals when motivation falters. Many of us have been conditioned to chase motivation. We wait for that rush of inspiration before we take action, thinking that we need to feel ready, energized, or passionate to start. But here's the catch. Waiting for motivation can leave you stuck. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes, often without warning. It's influenced by countless factors, from your mood to external circumstances, and it's rarely consistent. Discipline, on the other hand, is the great equalizer. It doesn't care if you're tired, uninspired, or facing obstacles. Discipline is about showing up, doing the work, and taking steps toward your goals, no matter what. It's about forming habits that keep you on track even when you don't feel like it. The Stoics, Those ancient masters of resilience understood this deeply. They taught that true freedom comes from mastering oneself and that mastery is rooted in discipline. Let's face it, there will be days when you don't feel like working out, studying, or pushing forward on a challenging project. There will be times when your mind tells you to take it easy, to postpone, to do it later. Discipline is what allows you to override those impulses. It's the voice that says, do it anyway. It's the practice of building your life around your commitments rather than your emotions. So how do you cultivate this discipline? It starts with a simple but powerful shift in mindset. Stop waiting for motivation and start depending on discipline. Recognize that your feelings don't have to dictate your actions. Instead, let your actions be guided by your goals and values. This shift is crucial because it frees you from the roller coaster of highs and lows that motivation often brings. It puts you in control, allowing you to consistently move forward one step at a time. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Discipline is about making that choice every single day. It's about choosing to act in alignment with your values, even when it's difficult, even when it's inconvenient. And the more you practice this, the stronger your discipline becomes. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in chasing external validation, whether it's likes on social media, praise at work, or the latest trend. But these external factors are unreliable. They're out of your control and they can change in an instant. Discipline, however, is something you cultivate within yourself. It's a personal commitment to your growth and your goals, independent of what's happening around you. So, as we move forward in this journey, let's make a pact. Let's commit to prioritizing discipline over motivation. Let's acknowledge that there will be ups and downs, and that's okay. What matters is not how we feel in any given moment, but how we choose to act. And with discipline as our guide, those actions will lead us steadily toward the life we want to create. In the next chapter, we'll dive deeper into the practical aspects of building discipline, starting with small, manageable steps that lay the foundation for long-term success. But for now, remember this. Discipline is your steady companion, the one you can count on when motivation wavers. It's the force that keeps you moving forward, no matter what. Chapter 2. Building the foundation of discipline. Small steps, big impact. Now that we've unmasked the power of discipline, it's time to lay down the foundation. The beauty of discipline lies in its simplicity. It doesn't demand grand gestures or heroic efforts. Instead, it's built on small, consistent actions that compound over time, creating a momentum that's impossible to ignore. Imagine you're trying to push a car that's been sitting idle for months. At first, it takes all your strength just to get it moving. But once you've got it rolling, it becomes easier and easier to keep it going. This is how discipline works. The hardest part is often just getting started, but once you do, the momentum begins to build. Let's start with something as simple as decluttering. The Stoics believed in living a life free from unnecessary distractions. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." In other words, the clutter in our lives, both physical and mental, can weigh us down, making it harder to focus on what truly matters. Take a look around your environment. Is your workspace cluttered with papers, gadgets, and other distractions? Is your mind constantly racing with thoughts, worries, and to-do lists? This clutter not only drains your energy, but also makes it difficult to maintain discipline. So the first step in building discipline is to clear out the clutter, clean your desk, organize your files, and get rid of anything that doesn't serve a purpose. A clear space leads to a clear mind, and with clarity comes the focus necessary for disciplined action. Next, let's talk about the power of small wins. Discipline isn't about overhauling your entire life overnight. It's about taking small, manageable steps that lead to big changes. This is where the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, comes into play. The principle suggests that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. In the context of discipline, this means focusing on the few key actions that will have the most significant impact on your goals. For example, if you're trying to get in shape, don't overwhelm yourself with a complex workout routine. Instead, start with something simple but effective, like committing to a 10-minute walk every day. Over time, this small action will build into a habit, and as you start to see results, your confidence and discipline will grow. The same principle applies to other areas of life, whether it's studying for an exam, building a business, or improving your relationships. Focus on the essential actions that will move the needle, and let discipline guide you in doing them consistently. Another crucial aspect of discipline is the ability to step outside your comfort zone. The Stoics believed that true growth comes from challenging yourself, from facing discomfort head-on. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, famously said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the challenges you face aren't obstacles, they're opportunities. When you push yourself to take on new challenges, you strengthen your discipline, making it easier to tackle even bigger challenges in the future. But how do you start? By taking small, calculated risks. Try something new that scares you a little. It could be learning a new skill, taking on a challenging project, or simply speaking up in a meeting. Each time you step outside your comfort zone, you expand your capabilities and reinforce the habit of disciplined action. Finally, there's a special satisfaction in completing what you start. Whether it's a small task or a large project, finishing what you begin builds confidence and reinforces the habit of follow-through. Aristotle once said, "Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work." When you complete tasks, no matter how small, you're not just checking off items on a list, you're building the muscle of discipline. Over time, this muscle grows stronger, and the act of completing tasks becomes second nature. As you move forward, remember that discipline is built one small step at a time. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every small win, every completed task, every challenge overcome adds another brick to the foundation of your discipline. And as this foundation grows stronger, so too does your ability to achieve the goals that matter most to you. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to sustain this momentum and turn discipline into a way of life, not just a short-term fix. But for now, focus on those small steps. Clear the clutter, prioritize your efforts, and start building the foundation of a disciplined life, one action at a time. Chapter 3. The long-term game of discipline, turning habits into a lifestyle. With the foundation of discipline laid, the next challenge is sustaining it. Discipline, much like any other skill, isn't a one-time effort. It's a continuous practice. The real power of discipline lies not just in starting strong, but in maintaining that strength over time. This is where discipline truly surpasses motivation. While motivation might fuel a sprint, discipline ensures you complete the marathon. Let's start by acknowledging the importance of routine. A routine is like the engine that keeps your discipline running smoothly. When you establish a routine, you eliminate the need to make decisions about certain actions. They become automatic. This reduces decision fatigue, the mental exhaustion that comes from making too many choices, and it frees up your energy for more important tasks. The Stoics were masters of routine, understanding that consistency is key to achieving mastery in any area of life. Consider the example of daily habits. Imagine starting your day with a structured morning routine, waking up at the same time, engaging in exercise, and dedicating time to planning your day. This routine doesn't just set a positive tone for the day, it builds discipline by reinforcing habits that support your goals. Over time, these habits become ingrained, making it easier to maintain discipline even when external circumstances change. One concept that captures the essence of this is the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, which means continuous improvement. Kaizen isn't about making drastic changes overnight. It's about making small, incremental improvements every day. This philosophy aligns perfectly with the practice of discipline. Instead of focusing on perfection or immediate results, Kaizen encourages you to focus on progress, no matter how small. By consistently making small improvements, you create a compounding effect that leads to significant change over time. But how do you keep the momentum going, especially when the initial excitement wears off? This is where it's essential to shift your focus from outcomes to processes. The Stoics believed in focusing on what they could control, their actions, rather than worrying about the results, which are often out of their hands. Epictetus famously said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means committing to the daily actions that align with your values, regardless of whether the results are immediately visible. For example, if your goal is to write a book, the outcome, a finished book, might seem daunting. But if you focus on the process, writing a set number of words each day, you break the task down into manageable steps. Over time, these daily actions accumulate, leading to the completion of your book. The key is to fall in love with the process itself. When you do, discipline becomes less about forcing yourself to do something and more about embracing the journey. Another important aspect of maintaining discipline is recognizing and celebrating your progress. It's easy to get caught up in the grind and forget to acknowledge how far you've come. This is where a gratitude practice can be incredibly powerful. By regularly reflecting on your achievements, no matter how small, you reinforce your commitment to the path of discipline. As modern philosopher Brené Brown says, gratitude is the antidote to scarcity. When you focus on what you've accomplished, you cultivate a mindset of abundance, which fuels your discipline to keep going. But let's be real, there will be days when discipline feels like a grind, when the routine feels monotonous, and when the progress seems slow. This is where the concept of grit comes into play. Angela Duckworth, a leading researcher on grit, defines it as passion and perseverance for long-term goals. Grit is what keeps you disciplined when the going gets tough. It's the inner strength that pushes you to keep going, even when the results are slow to come or when the excitement fades. The Stoics understood the power of perseverance. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacles you face aren't just challenges, they're opportunities to deepen your discipline. By consistently overcoming these obstacles, you build resilience and strengthen your ability to stay the course. Finally, let's talk about the importance of flexibility within your discipline. Life is unpredictable, and rigid routines can sometimes become a source of stress when things don't go as planned. The Stoics were advocates of adapting to circumstances while maintaining their core principles. In the same way, your discipline should be strong, but flexible, allowing you to adjust your routines and goals as needed without losing sight of the bigger picture. In summary, discipline isn't about short-term gains or bursts of effort. It's about playing the long game, building habits that become a natural part of your lifestyle. It's about embracing the journey, focusing on processes over outcomes, and persevering through challenges. By doing this, you turn discipline from a temporary effort into a lasting way of life. In the next chapter, we'll explore how embracing challenges and stepping out of your comfort zone can further strengthen your discipline and lead to incredible personal growth. But for now, remember this: discipline is a marathon, not a sprint. It's the small, consistent actions maintained over time that lead to lasting success. Keep the momentum going and watch as discipline transforms your life, one day at a time. Chapter 4. Embracing challenges, strengthening discipline through discomfort. By now, we've established that discipline is a long-term game, built on small, consistent actions. But to truly deepen your discipline, there's another crucial element you need to embrace: challenges. It's easy to stay disciplined when everything is going smoothly, but the true test of discipline comes when you face discomfort, uncertainty, and obstacles. How you respond in those moments determines whether your discipline will falter or grow stronger. The ancient Stoics had a profound understanding of this. They believed that challenges were not merely obstacles to be overcome, but were, in fact, opportunities for growth. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, famously said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This perspective shifts the way we view challenges, not as threats, but as tools to build resilience and fortify our discipline. Let's face it, discomfort is an inevitable part of life. Whether it's the discomfort of a difficult conversation, the strain of a tough workout, or the anxiety of trying something new, these moments push us out of our comfort zones. And while our natural instinct might be to avoid discomfort, this avoidance can weaken our discipline over time. The more we shy away from challenges, the easier it becomes to give up when things get tough. On the other hand, when you deliberately step into discomfort, you start to build a different kind of muscle, the muscle of mental toughness. This toughness is what allows you to stick to your commitments, even when the going gets rough. It's what keeps you moving forward, even when every part of you wants to quit. By facing challenges head-on, you transform discomfort from something to be feared into something to be embraced as a necessary part of growth. But how do you begin to embrace challenges, especially when they seem daunting? Start small. Identify areas in your life where you've been avoiding discomfort. Maybe it's a task you've been putting off because it seems too hard, or a conversation you've been dreading because it's uncomfortable. Instead of continuing to avoid these challenges, make a conscious decision to face them. Start with something manageable, something that stretches you just enough to feel the discomfort, but not so much that it overwhelms you. For example, if you've been avoiding exercise because it's physically challenging, start with a short, intense workout. Push yourself a little beyond your usual limits. The goal isn't to achieve perfection on your first try, but to build the habit of facing challenges. As you get more comfortable with discomfort, you can gradually increase the difficulty of the challenges you take on. Another powerful way to embrace challenges is to set stretch goals. These are goals that push you beyond your current capabilities, forcing you to grow in the process. Stretch goals are not meant to be easy. They're meant to challenge your discipline and test your limits. But here's the key. Approach these goals with a mindset of learning and growth rather than perfection. Whether you succeed or fail in achieving the goal is less important than the discipline you build by striving toward it. The Stoics also taught the importance of preparing for challenges. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote about the practice of premeditatio malorum, anticipating potential difficulties and preparing mentally for them. This doesn't mean dwelling on the negative, but rather acknowledging that challenges will come and readying yourself to face them with discipline and resilience. By mentally preparing for discomfort, you're less likely to be thrown off course when it arrives. One of the greatest benefits of embracing challenges is that it changes your relationship with fear. Fear is often the biggest barrier to discipline. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort. But when you regularly face challenges, you begin to see fear for what it is, a natural response that can be managed and overcome. Each time you push through fear and take disciplined action, you weaken its hold on you. Over time, fear becomes less of a roadblock and more of a signal that you're about to grow. Finally, it's important to recognize that not all challenges will be external. Some of the toughest challenges you'll face will come from within. Battling self-doubt, overcoming procrastination, or silencing your inner critic. These internal challenges can be just as formidable as any external obstacle, if not more so. But by applying the same disciplined approach, you can conquer these internal battles as well. Acknowledge your fears and doubts, but don't let them dictate your actions. Let your discipline guide you, especially when your mind tries to convince you to take the easy way out. In the end, embracing challenges is about adopting a growth mindset, a belief that you can improve and grow through effort, even when it's difficult. This mindset is the fuel that powers discipline, turning obstacles into stepping stones on your path to success. In the next chapter, we'll delve into how to manage your inner critic, the voice that often undermines discipline by sowing seeds of doubt and self-criticism. But for now, remember this: discipline is not just about maintaining routine, it's about growing stronger through challenges. By stepping into discomfort and embracing the difficult moments, you build a discipline that's unshakable, one that will carry you through any challenge life throws your way. Chapter 5. Befriending the Inner Critic. Harnessing self-discipline over self-doubt. As we continue our journey into the heart of discipline, it's time to confront an often overlooked but deeply influential force: the inner critic. This is the voice inside your head that whispers, or sometimes shouts, that you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. It's the voice that questions your every move and second-guesses your decisions. While the inner critic can sometimes motivate us to do better more often than not, it undermines our confidence and weakens our discipline. The Stoics understood the importance of mastering one's inner world. They believed that while we cannot control the events that happen to us, we can control how we respond to them, especially the thoughts and judgments we form in our minds. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, famously said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This includes choosing how we respond to our inner critic. Your inner critic is a product of your thoughts, fears, and past experiences. It thrives on doubt and uncertainty, using these to shake your resolve. But here's the thing: your inner critic is not the enemy. It's simply a part of you that needs to be understood, managed, and ultimately disciplined. When left unchecked, the inner critic can sabotage your efforts and erode your discipline. But when you learn to manage it, The inner critic can become a powerful ally in your pursuit of self-discipline. The first step in befriending your inner critic is to recognize its voice. Often, the inner critic operates on autopilot, filling your mind with negative thoughts without you even realizing it. To counter this, start paying attention to your internal dialogue. When you notice self-critical thoughts, pause and acknowledge them. Instead of accepting them as truth, question them. Are these thoughts based on facts, or are they exaggerated fears? Are they helping you, or are they holding you back? Once you've identified the voice of your inner critic, the next step is to reframe its messages. Instead of allowing negative self-talk to undermine your discipline, use it as an opportunity to practice self-compassion. Remember, discipline isn't about being perfect or never making mistakes. It's about consistently showing up and doing your best, even when things don't go as planned. When your inner critic tells you that you've failed or that you're not good enough, counter it with a more balanced perspective. Acknowledge the mistake or the shortcoming, but don't let it define you. Use it as a learning experience to improve and grow. The modern-day philosopher and self-compassion expert Kristin Neff offers valuable insight here. She suggests that instead of mercilessly judging ourselves for our flaws, we should treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a close friend. This shift in perspective is crucial for maintaining discipline. When you treat yourself with compassion, you're more likely to persevere through challenges and setbacks. You're less likely to give up when things get tough because you understand that discipline is a journey, not a destination. Another powerful strategy for managing your inner critic is to separate yourself from it. This doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing the inner critic. Rather, it involves creating a mental distance between you and the critical thoughts. One way to do this is through mindfulness practices. When a self-critical thought arises, observe it without judgment. Notice it as just that, a thought, not an absolute truth. By practicing this kind of mindfulness, you can reduce the emotional impact of your inner critic and prevent it from derailing your discipline. The Stoics practiced a similar approach through what they called objective judgment. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reminded himself to see things as they are, without adding unnecessary emotion or bias. When applied to self-criticism, this means viewing your inner critic's messages objectively, without letting them dictate your actions or erode your self-discipline. It's also important to remember that everyone struggles with self-doubt and self-criticism at times. The inner critic isn't something to be ashamed of. It's a universal part of the human experience. What matters is how you respond to it. By cultivating discipline, you can train yourself to act in alignment with your goals and values, even when your inner critic is at its loudest. One practical tip for managing your inner critic is to create a victory log. This is a journal where you record your successes, no matter how small. Each time you achieve something, whether it's completing a task, overcoming a challenge, or simply sticking to your routine, write it down. Over time, this log becomes a powerful counterbalance to the inner critic's negative messages. When self-doubt creeps in, you can look back at your victory log and remind yourself of how much you've already accomplished. In essence, befriending your inner critic isn't about silencing it entirely. It's about putting it in its proper place. It's about recognizing that while the inner critic may have a voice, it doesn't have to dictate your actions. You have the power to choose how you respond, and that choice is at the heart of discipline. As we move forward to the next chapter, we'll explore how creating a disciplined environment, both mentally and physically, can further support your journey. But for now, take a moment to reflect on how you've been engaging with your inner critic. Have you been letting it undermine your discipline, or are you ready to turn it into an ally? With the right mindset and strategies, you can transform self-doubt into self-discipline, and that's a powerful shift that will carry you far on your journey. Chapter 6, The Zen of a Disciplined Life, Creating Order and Focus. Now that we've tackled the inner critic, it's time to turn our attention outward and explore how our environment, both physical and mental, affects our discipline. The Stoics were keenly aware of the relationship between external order and internal peace. Seneca wisely observed, "Order is the sanity of the mind, the health of the body, the peace of the city, the security of the state." In essence, the more organized and intentional your environment, the more focused and disciplined you can become. In today's fast-paced world, where distractions are endless and multitasking is often glorified, maintaining a disciplined life requires more than just willpower. It demands a structured environment that supports your goals and minimizes distractions. Let's dive into how you can create this kind of environment, one that nurtures discipline and keeps you on track. 1. Decluttering your physical space. Start with your physical surroundings. Look around your home, your workspace, your digital devices. Are they cluttered with unnecessary items? Is your desk buried under papers, your home filled with things you don't use, your computer desktop overflowing with files? Clutter, whether physical or digital, can overwhelm your senses and create mental fog, making it difficult to focus on what truly matters. The process of decluttering is not just about tidying up, it's about creating space for clarity and intention. When your environment is orderly, your mind can focus more easily, and you're less likely to be distracted by trivial things. Begin by identifying what's essential and what's not. The items that don't serve a purpose or bring you joy, get rid of them. Clear your workspace, organize your files, and create a physical environment that reflects the discipline you want to cultivate. Marie Kondo, a decluttering guru, says, "The question of what you want to own is actually the question of how you want to live your life." By decluttering, you're making a powerful statement about the kind of life you want to live, one that is disciplined, intentional, and focused. 2. Decluttering your mental space. Once your physical space is in order, turn your attention to your mental space. Just as physical clutter can distract you, mental clutter, worries, regrets, anxieties, can drain your energy and undermine your discipline. The Stoics practiced mindfulness and meditation as a way to clear mental clutter and focus on the present moment. They understood that the mind, when free from unnecessary distractions, is a powerful tool for disciplined action. One effective way to declutter your mind is through the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness involves paying attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment, simply observing them as they come and go. This practice helps you recognize when your mind is becoming cluttered with unproductive thoughts and gives you the space to let them go. By regularly practicing mindfulness, you create a mental environment that supports clarity, focus, and discipline. Another approach is to engage in regular reflection. Take time each day to review your thoughts and experiences. What went well? What challenges did you face? What could you do differently? This reflection helps you identify mental patterns that may be cluttering your mind and allows you to consciously shift toward more disciplined thinking. 3. Prioritizing what truly matters. The next step in creating a disciplined life is to prioritize. The Stoics were masters of this, understanding that time and energy are finite resources. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't a call to live in fear of death, but rather a reminder to focus on what truly matters. Life is too short to waste on trivial pursuits that don't align with your values and goals. To prioritize effectively, start by identifying your core values and most important goals. What are the things that bring you joy, fulfillment, and a sense of purpose? Once you've identified these, align your daily actions with them. This means saying no to tasks, activities, and even people who don't support your goals. It's about being intentional with your time and energy, ensuring that they're spent on the things that matter most. A practical tool for prioritizing is the Eisenhower Matrix, which categorizes tasks into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. Focus your discipline on the tasks that fall into the first 2 categories. These are the ones that will bring you closer to your goals. The others can be delegated, deferred, or dismissed altogether. 4. Managing your time with discipline. Time management is a cornerstone of a disciplined life. The Stoics believed in living intentionally, making the most of every moment. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." To live a disciplined life, you must take control of your time, treating it as the valuable resource it is. One effective time management strategy is time blocking. This involves scheduling specific blocks of time for different tasks or activities throughout your day. By dedicating uninterrupted time to each task, you can focus more deeply and complete your work more efficiently. Time blocking also helps you avoid the pitfalls of multitasking, which can dilute your focus and reduce the quality of your work. Another strategy is the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in focused intervals, typically 25 minutes, followed by a short break. This method not only enhances your focus but also helps maintain your energy levels throughout the day. By managing your time with discipline, you create a structure that supports consistent progress toward your goals. 5. Creating space for stillness and reflection. Finally, a disciplined life isn't just about constant action, it's also about creating space for stillness and reflection. The Stoics valued quiet contemplation, understanding that it's in moments of stillness that we gain clarity and insight. In our busy, distraction-filled world, these moments are more important than ever. Make it a habit to carve out time each day for stillness, whether through meditation, deep breathing exercises, or simply spending time in nature. This stillness allows you to recharge, refocus, and reconnect with your inner self. It's a way to clear the mental clutter that accumulates throughout the day and return to a state of disciplined focus. As Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "The present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it." By cultivating stillness, you enhance your ability to stay disciplined, even in the face of life's challenges. In summary, the Zen of a disciplined life is about creating order, both externally and internally. By decluttering your space, managing your time, prioritizing what matters, and embracing stillness, you create an environment that naturally supports discipline. This environment doesn't just make it easier to stay disciplined, it makes discipline a way of life. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to reignite your passion through disciplined action, ensuring that your journey remains vibrant and fulfilling. But for now, focus on creating the order and structure that will support your discipline, and watch as it transforms your life from the inside out. Apologies for the oversight. I'll include the chapter number moving forward. Here's the continuation with the correct numbering. Chapter 8. Accountability and commitment Sealing the deal with discipline. In the pursuit of goals and personal growth, discipline is essential for maintaining consistency and making progress. However, discipline alone can sometimes waver without the reinforcing power of accountability and commitment. These two elements are crucial in transforming discipline from a solitary effort into a reliable system that ensures long-term success. Accountability is about holding yourself responsible for your actions and goals. It involves setting clear expectations and regularly checking in on your progress. While discipline helps you stay on track, accountability ensures that you maintain focus and continue to move forward, even when the path gets difficult. One of the most effective ways to build accountability is by setting SMART goals. Goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. By defining your goals with these criteria, you create a roadmap that guides your disciplined actions. For example, instead of setting a vague goal like get in shape, a SMART goal would be exercise for 30 minutes 5 times a week for the next 3 months. This clarity not only helps you understand what needs to be done, but also provides specific metrics to measure your progress. Another powerful tool for accountability is finding an accountability partner. This could be a friend, a colleague, or even a mentor, someone who shares similar goals or understands the importance of your commitments. By regularly checking in with your accountability partner, you create a system of mutual support and encouragement. They can help you stay disciplined, provide constructive feedback, and push you when your motivation wanes. This external layer of accountability can make a significant difference in maintaining discipline over the long term. In addition to accountability, commitment is another cornerstone of disciplined living. Commitment is the act of dedicating yourself fully to your goals and decisions. It's about making a pact with yourself that you will follow through, no matter the challenges or setbacks you face. When you commit to something, you are making a conscious decision to prioritize it above other distractions or competing interests. The Stoics were deeply committed to living in alignment with their values and principles. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of commitment in his teachings, urging individuals to focus on what they can control and to act consistently with their beliefs. This kind of commitment is not about rigidly sticking to a plan without flexibility. Rather, it's about remaining steadfast in your pursuit of what truly matters, adapting as necessary, but never losing sight of your ultimate goals. To strengthen your commitment, it's helpful to create a structured routine that supports your disciplined efforts. This might involve daily rituals, such as morning reflections, setting intentions for the day, or evening reviews of your progress. These routines reinforce your commitment and make it easier to stay disciplined, even when faced with distractions or obstacles. Tracking your progress is another key aspect of maintaining commitment. By keeping a journal, using an app, or creating a visual tracker, you can monitor your achievements and stay aware of how far you've come. This not only reinforces your discipline, but also provides a tangible reminder of your commitment to your goals. As the saying goes, what gets measured gets managed. By regularly reviewing your progress, you can make adjustments as needed, ensuring that your discipline remains aligned with your commitments. Rewarding yourself for reaching milestones is another important practice. Celebrating your successes, whether big or small, creates positive reinforcement, which strengthens your commitment to continue. These rewards don't have to be extravagant. They can be as simple as taking a break, enjoying a favorite activity, or acknowledging your hard work. The key is to recognize your efforts and celebrate your disciplined achievements, which helps sustain motivation and commitment over time. Finally, it's important to be flexible and adaptable in your approach to discipline and commitment. Life is unpredictable and circumstances can change. The Stoics understood this well and emphasized the importance of resilience and adaptability. Regularly reviewing your goals and adjusting your plans as needed keeps you on track without becoming overly rigid. This adaptability allows you to stay committed to your overarching goals while navigating the inevitable twists and turns along the way. In conclusion, accountability and commitment are essential components of a disciplined life. They provide the structure, support, and reinforcement needed to stay on course even when challenges arise. By setting clear goals, finding an accountability partner, creating routines, tracking your progress, and celebrating your successes, you can transform discipline from a solitary effort into a powerful system that drives long-term success. With accountability and commitment, your disciplined actions become not just a temporary push, but a sustained journey toward achieving your deepest goals and aspirations. Conclusion: the lifelong dance of discipline and growth. As we reach the end of this exploration, it's clear that discipline is not just a tool for achieving goals, it's a way of life. Throughout this journey, we've uncovered how discipline serves as the foundation for success, growth, and fulfillment. We've seen how it transcends the fleeting nature of motivation, providing a steady, reliable force that guides us through life's challenges and triumphs. Discipline is the quiet, persistent engine that powers progress. It's the force that helps you push through when motivation fades, the structure that supports your passions, and the commitment that keeps you on track. Through discipline, you can cultivate the habits, mindset, and environment necessary to achieve your goals, no matter how ambitious or daunting they may seem. But discipline is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and staying true to your values, even when the road is tough. Discipline is built through small, consistent actions, reinforced by accountability and commitment. It's the resilience to keep going, the courage to embrace challenges, and the wisdom to adapt when needed. The Stoics taught us that true freedom comes from mastering oneself, and discipline is the path to that mastery. It's the practice of aligning your actions with your values, of living intentionally and with purpose. It's about choosing to act, even when it's difficult, because you know that every disciplined action brings you closer to the life you want to create. As you move forward from here, remember that discipline is a lifelong journey. It's not a destination you reach, but a dance you engage in every day. There will be times when you falter, when your discipline wavers, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep going, that you learn from each experience, and that you continue to build the habits and routines that support your growth. And you're not alone on this journey. You're part of a community of individuals who are committed to mastering themselves and their lives through the power of discipline. Together, we can create a legacy of resilience, strength, and unwavering commitment to our goals. We can rise above the distractions and challenges of modern life, and we can achieve greatness, not just for ourselves, but for those who look to us for inspiration and leadership. So as you continue on your path, embrace discipline as your guide. Let it be the steady hand that leads you through uncertainty, the anchor that keeps you grounded, and the light that guides you toward your dreams. The world is waiting for your unique brilliance, and with discipline, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Keep moving forward, keep growing, and keep shining. Your journey has only just begun.